Hello, my name's Carrie Foster and I'm an organisation development practitioner. My work has been impacted greatly over the last 2 weeks because normally I work with organisations to help people-led change and enable organisations to achieve their strategic goals. But the world has changed. And I've been thinking over the weekend, what does this mean for organisations? Because for an awful lot of organisations, the challenge is working remotely and having employees that usually work in the office move to home working. And there are challenges for managers who've never done remote working before. And as an OD practitioner, I can provide support for teams, whether it's doing some online webinars around remote working and how you do home working and remain productive, and for managers, how you manage your team remotely. But I was thinking, actually, we're acting as though this is business as usual. We're looking at this situation and thinking, oh, it'll be a couple of weeks and we'll all work from home and then the office will open and we'll carry on with carrying on. But the fact is, the world is not going to carrying on. And I might come across as a doomsayer, but I believe that we need to treat this situation differently. On the one hand, the economy has changed completely. So the marketplace that we thought we knew is going through a change that is even more fundamental than the difficulties faced with the credit crunch in 2008. So what the market will look like, what the economy will look like when we get till after this, whenever that will be, is going to be different. So the strategic plans that organisations have in place are now redundant. And I believe that leadership teams need to be thinking about, what does our organisation look like after? What should our strategy be after this? After life after Corona, what does business look like? Because it's not going to be business as usual. It's going to be a new normal, whatever that looks like. But the other thing that I think that I can help organisations with is thinking about, whilst we're in this national crisis, we don't know how long this is going to last. I think people think it's going to be a few weeks. I personally think this is going to be the next 12 months. I don't think this is about remote working. I think this is about, what organisational resources does your organisation have that it can offer to the nation state whilst we're in this national crisis. So consider, is your organisation a manufacturer? Maybe you currently manufacture clothes, as an example. If so, should you be manufacturing masks? Should you be manufacturing scrubs? Should you be manufacturing protective gear? Or maybe is it ventilators or hospital beds or all the things that we're going to need to get our nation through this crisis? In the war, we ended up with munitions factories. But this is a different type of war. It's an invisible enemy. And we're going to need our manufacturing base to respond, to make sure we've got the supplies that we need, whether it's swab masks or anything that we need for the hospitals. We also need to look at resources in terms of the recent announcement with local authorities being put on notice that they're going to be supplying boxes of food to vulnerable people. We have a whole load of restaurants that have just closed down that have all got kitchens, and maybe there is an opportunity for organisations that normally do food to support their local authorities in terms of putting together food boxes and food supplies. We also have to think about those organisations that maybe are involved in building, because quite honestly, we're in a situation where building and selling houses is maybe not something the country needs right now, but that's maybe something your organisation is involved in some way throughout that supply chain. The reality is we're going to need to build hospitals or repurpose places to be field hospitals or units where people can go for intensive care beds or to house NHS staff, or I don't know. But there is something about our companies needing to look again and repurposing their resources. So if your business has changed, is the business that you do currently isn't going to be able to carry on as normal. How do you repurpose the resources that you have? And that's not just physical resources, but it's looking at your people resources as well. Maybe you've got planners and project managers who've got transferable skills who can go on and help our nation state. Maybe you're someone like me who's got skills in bringing people together and helping them help facilitate strategies and planning and action planning. How can we work together to facilitate the help that our nation state's going to use during this emergency? And it is an emergency. I know this weekend, seeing those scenes in Snowdon, I live in North Wales, so the scenes up in Snowdon where everyone had decided to go on for a walk, it makes my head melt at the viral stupidity that's going on at the moment. But organisations, organisational leaders, I urge you to think about this situation differently. This isn't about the muck and bullets of getting people set up with their laptops and the technology they need to work from home. That is part of it, and we do need to make sure people are going to be productive if they're going to be working from home. But some of the meetings that you're having on Microsoft Teams or Skype or Zoom are meetings about things that no longer matter. They're no longer important. And the things that were important last week for your business are becoming irrelevant, and they will increasingly become more irrelevant as time goes on. So this is my encouragement. You need to think differently about business and the place and role of business and organisations in our society during this crisis. I've long thought that one of the most marvellous things about organisations is that we have the capacity to do amazing things for our society. And so I can help. If you want to contact me, please do so. You can do so through my LinkedIn and through carrieclf@gmail.com. If I can be of any help to you in terms of setting up some kind of new thinking and new ideation about repurposing your organisation and what comes next and strategizing, obviously I still need work, but I can use my skills and expertise to help you if you need it. But if nothing else, listen to this message. The world has changed, and it is not about remote working and home working. The world has changed, and your organisation needs to think differently about the next 12 months and what that means for your organisation and the world that will follow. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, keep distant from other people, and if I can be of any assistance, please contact me. My telephone number is 0785 0880 547.